let's take a look at the Rosetta Tarot from M. Moline. This is the Papyrus Edition of the Rosetta Tarot. So this is the sort of the second edition because the first one didn't have papyrus-looking paper. So you get this box with the Ankh on it, and then this is number 121. This is the deck. It's individually numbered. And there's her stamp. And there's a little piece of paper. And here is the number. There was an edition of 777. And her signature. And it's the Papyrus Edition. And with this, I actually got, you can get these signifier cards. And I ended up getting one and then a blank one. So, I think they were just a couple dollars, but this is what she actually, I guess she did, drew this on there for me, and it says J N E, long E. So she put your name there, and I thought that's so cool. I have a personalized card. And then I have a blank one if I want to make another one, that's pretty neat. She gives you this lovely card of phonetic sounds, and it's front and back. You also, when you order this, you get a PDF sent to you of the actual, the same guide. It's a little more to it. I think it's like maybe 8 pages, but it's pretty cool. So the box is has this ribbon in it that kind of lays there, helps you get the cards in and out, kind of lays there. And the back of the cards have this rose with wings, and the cardstock, it's fairly decent, and they slide with some noise. There's the side of the deck. And it has these stripes on it, which I kind of like because of the background. And if you look closely at it, it does look like it's a color pencil drawing, and that's really the kind of the artsy thing. Seeing that this is the Rosetta deck, the Tabula Mundi deck is like this times 10 as far as like growth of the actual deck. But I do like this edition, even though it's not. I guess the artwork is a little bit rough, but. The deck is very nice, so let's look at it. The thing is, with this deck, the bottom of the deck, the name is the phonetic Egyptian, so you may or may not like that, but I think it's cool. And the Papyrus Edition has this papyrus print. They're not terribly glossy cards, which is nice because you can really appreciate the artwork. And the artwork seems to be heavily influenced by the Thoth deck. So let's look at it. I mean, some of these cards just seem to be redrawn in the artist's own style, which I do like. The face here, it's sort of, it's very, some of the facial expressions are fairly rough. But, you know, this is an artist-created deck. You know, I expect this. This is one of the reasons why I got it, because it's not a highly polished deck. It actually has some feeling to it, some spirit. This lion looks a little rough. Whereas this cheetah looks pretty point on these two. So if you collect decks, it's always nice to have a numbered and signed deck, especially by the artist who actually, you know, did the artwork. I really like this card, this mechanical sort of a lot going on. If you look at the thing, danger, on empty, rotations per minute is, you know, in the red. You have steam coming out. It's about to trip, you know, back to zero. Interesting card. This one too is this sort of, when I looked at the deck, those two cards, it's like almost a mechanical modern feel to them. You know, here's a vault. Here's a lovely wasp. I'm kind of partial to insects in tarot. There aren't too many, and I do like to see insects. I think there should be snails, a tarot of snails. Maybe a tarot of terrestrial and aquatic mollusks. That way you've got land snails, slugs, nudibranchs, lots of color there. Oh, and speaking of color, look at the color. I mean, the color is, I forget, I read online that she used, I think these are Prismacolor, colored pencils that she used, which you can buy. They're actually pretty affordable. You can get a decent set for like $35 if you're really into color. I have never really been into colored pencil drawing. It's always been like boring graphite or watercolor painting. I just found that trying to put too much color with a pencil on something, it just gets very tedious. And with paint, you can just, it's a little easier. So I can appreciate the work that goes into this. This card's very neat. I do see that some of the colors do get a little muddy and not as sharp. That kind of, that's, the medium tends to be that way. I mean, if you compare these two, they're fairly the same, but then you compare this one, it's brighter. Seems like it's sharper. Look at the hieroglyphics down here. So if you really study this, you can, you know, play with the phonetics of the Egyptian alphabet. Oh, the size of these, you know, it's this. I would say this is standard tarot size, which is my favorite size. But I do like larger decks, long, skinny decks, and larger decks. Smaller decks, like I have the mini Visconti tarot. I mean, it's almost like a gimmick. What can you do with that? And here we get into the major arcana, which I will, I'm going to put these back. And I'm going to start from the first card. The Fool. The Magician. The Magnus there, the same winged helmet. We have the blue sky, but So these cards are very much influenced by the Thoth Tarot. There's the pomegranates, which should be on that card. The starred headpiece. The Emperor. The Lovers. An interesting card. There's a bee. We have lion, bird, sun and the moon at the top. The Chariot. This chariot has 4 animals pulling it. And the creature looks like some crab knight. It's very strange. Interesting, though. I love this card. It looks it's sort of Venetian, sort of, I don't know, almost angel in bondage looking. I like it. The colors are very cool. The Hermit. Probably one of the most dynamic hermit cards I've seen. And sort of, he has a sun, wheat. He's holding a catechus. And there's this symbol. Oh, I know the symbol means something. Wheel of Fortune. Strength. There we have a multi-headed lion creature with tails, and instead of holding the mouth down, she's sort of riding the beast. Again, this is almost like the Whore of Babylon on the riding the beast in Revelation. The Hangman, and we'll flip him. He has tree roots for fingers, and this one he's held by a snake, or looks like a snake vine. There's a heart that looks like it could be, it's surrounded by bees. Death. I love there's the DNA matrix there. Here we have the moon in the background with eagle, cobras, scorpion. And this is Temperance. The Devil. 3 eyes. Mushrooms, grapes. A lot of feeling of Pan or Bacchus there. The eye very much tells me, and the dynamic sky is very Thoth deck, and the colors too for that card. The Star. This card, it's like she's on sitting on the Epcot Center, some geodesic dome. The Moon. Here we do not see a crab. We do see some of those rays coming down. Trident of Neptune. We have this creature here. The woman has a claw for a hand, and then a scarab. The World, typical World. I do like the sort of skeletal snake sort of going there, and then the faces around it. So that is the Papyrus edition of the Rosetta Tarot. I'm going to put it back in there just like this and keep it. Really cool deck. If you like Maline's work, you know, there's books and there's three or four different decks that you can check out. So anyway, that's my quick review of the Rosetta Tarot. Thanks for watching.